How's it going? Yeah, welcome back to today, and it's Thursday, and it looks good. I was like, go out and be great. But let's start with greetings. Come on, we get ahead of ourselves. Hello, my name is Daniel. I host your
guy in the chair.
He said it. He said it.
And today we have for the critical drinker. I don't know why I did that, but hey, we're hearing his review of Starfleet Academy and why it sucks. So, enjoy.
I think it's fair to say that finding the positives in Starfleet Academy is a bit like opening a daycare center in a strip club. Yeah, I guess it could be done in theory, but man, there's a whole lot of obstacles in the way. After all, we're witnessing the final death throes of a 60-year-old franchise that survived a decade of cancellation, the end of the Cold War, and the visual and intellectual diarrhea of the J.J. Abrams movies. It's like watching your favorite long-retired boxer lumbering back into the ring for one more fight, punch-drunk and overweight and a shadow of his former self, getting completely pummeled and humiliated by an opponent half his age. But leave it to that bastion of hard-hitting journalism, the Mary Sue, to cheer everyone up. Wait, do they still exist? Wow. Whatever. Let us examine this fair and completely unbiased article, shall we? Those dude bros mad at Starfleet Academy aren't actual Star Trek fans.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
You see, dear viewer, Starfleet Academy isn't actually an insult to Star Trek, storytelling, cinematography, character development, or even basic human dignity, and that's why the internet's been dogging on it since its release, in much the same way that Disney Star Wars is just as good as anything George Lucas ever managed to produce. Oh no, it's actually a small minority of toxic dude bros like myself and Gary who just can't accept the greatness of this show. Time and time again, we're confronted with fans of something who continue to miss the lessons within the media they're consuming. We've seen it with Star Wars, our superhero stories, and it's become an increasing problem with Star Trek fans. Oh dear, it's such a drag being media literate, isn't it? More recently, men like the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, known for hating anything that seems to be left-leaning, have been dogging on Paramount Plus's slate of Star Trek shows. The issue with these right-wing figureheads talking about Trek is that they miss one important detail about Star Trek. It was never for them. Oh, really? Then pray tell, who exactly was it for? Because I've spent most of my life watching and enjoying Star Trek, progressive messaging and all. I grew up with it, in fact, and I've spent dozens, if not hundreds of hours online talking about my love for the movies, the Next Generation, the original series. Shit, man, I'm one of those crazy people who even enjoyed Voyager, the first Star Trek show led by a female captain, no less. But since men like these ex-personalities think they're the authority on all things nerdy, the reality is they just speak loudly and incorrectly about these franchises. Look, you can use your money to buy every Star Trek toy out there. Doesn't mean you understand what this series is saying to you. And now with the new series Star Trek Starfleet Academy, we've seen an uptick in their lack of understanding of what Gene Roddenberry sought to do with Star Trek.
Really?
Well, it seems like we're not the only ones who lack understanding, Mary Sue writer. See, we don't claim to be the final authority on anything. We're just people with opinions. We put those opinions out there on the internet, and we invite others to engage with them however they see fit. If those opinions are well thought out, capably argued, and backed up with knowledge and experience, then well, people tend to listen to them. The problem for you seems to be that more people agree with our opinions on Starfleet Academy than yours. Sucks to be you, I guess. But that being the case, maybe it's time you asked yourselves, why? In the great marketplace of ideas that is the internet, why are people rushing to consume ours while yours gather dust in a bargain bin? Is it perhaps because you're not being entirely honest about this show's merits and you're trying to dismiss any and all criticism of it with the tired old argument of, this was never made for you? The reality is that Star Trek was made for everyone, no matter their background or political persuasion. It was the very definition of inclusive because it presented its audience with ideas that they were invited to consider instead of propaganda that they were commanded to accept. Whether it was questions of ethics and morality, the value of the individual versus the needs of the collective, whether we have the right to interfere in other societies even if we believe we can do good, the nature of justice, power and responsibility, even what it means to be human. All of these ideas and countless more could be found in Star Trek, and what made the franchise so accessible and timeless is that they were often presented with balance and care to show different perspectives, to show both sides of an issue and trusting the audience to form their own opinions instead of just pushing one particular point of view to the exclusion of all else. It was never about moral judgment or sneering lectures, but instead intellectual curiosity, something we're shockingly lacking these days. Star Trek, until fairly recently, was a show of ideas. It was a franchise created by serious and mature people, exploring serious and mature concepts, usually led by a cast of serious and mature characters. In short, it was aspirational. It was about the best of humanity pitting themselves against the wild, surreal, and often terrifying challenges the universe had to offer. And you know what? It was fucking awesome. Starfleet Academy, on the other hand, is none of those things. At best, it's a trite and melodramatic teen soap opera with all the angst and relationship gripes and overwrought emotions that come with it, cartoonishly over-the-top villains, and a cast of characters that I wouldn't trust to run a Starbucks, never mind command a starship and explore the galaxy. Dialogue that's the writing equivalent of verbal diarrhea, written by aging millennials acting like Gen Z, trying so desperately hard to be funny and edgy and cool that it's like watching your granddad trying to hang out in a Call of Duty lobby. Star Trek for the TikTok generation, for an audience of low attention spans, low IQ, and low interest. It's a show about idiots, made by idiots for idiots. It's not aspirational in any way, shape, or form because it doesn't represent the best of what humanity could be in the future. It represents the worst of what it is right now. Shallow, vapid, loud, meaningless, and disposable, obsessed with identity and feelings. A show about nothing that possesses no ideas and provides no perspectives. Unlike the good people of the Mary Sue, I don't profess to be the authority on all things Star Trek, but in my humble opinion, I think Gene Roddenberry would be disgusted to see what's become of his creation. And quite frankly, he's not the only one. All of this is to say that Starfleet Academy is what I've always loved about Star Trek. It feels like a warm hug and is fun, adventurous, and exactly the kind of world that Roddenberry dreamt of 60 years ago. So don't let a bunch of nonsense on social media try to paint the show in any other way. Well, Mary Sue, I don't know what to tell you. I've explained my reasons why I think this show isn't worth watching, but if you genuinely think it's great and it makes you happy, then well, it shouldn't really matter what a bunch of curmudgeonly YouTubers have to say about it, should it? Unless, of course, there's a horrible little doubt in the back of your mind that maybe Starfleet Academy isn't the creative triumph you've convinced yourself it is. That maybe the reason so many people are criticizing it is that, well, it actually is just a bit shit. I'll let you decide. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Hey, I hope you heard what he had to say. He really dug into that Mary Sue. They really were. I was they gave him and Gary a shout out, but Jesus, they kind of took it in a whole other direction. But hey, you get shut out by that. I don't care. Mary Sue's irrelevant nowadays. Sometimes it's spot on. Other times, who cares? But either way, I listened and I haven't watched this series, to be honest. I don't care for the new Star Trek. I like the old. Well, Picard season 4 had it going on. Very much so. But I stopped watching everything. I haven't watched none of the STD stuff. But anyway, I don't care. If you like it, hey, you do it just each his own. Or whatever. But if you don't, if you made it this far, and you like what you said, don't forget to like it. Comment down below, share, and then subscribe. And I hope you had an awesome night and the rest of your day goes really well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.